7 animals marketed as profitable on small acreage. One honest spreadsheet adding them all up to a net loss of $150 a month. Meanwhile, the creators promoting those systems average $12,800 monthly, not from animals, from affiliate links, ads, and cheat sheets you're buying. Here's what the real ledger looks like when every hidden cost is finally counted. Matthew Williams believed backyard chickens would pay for themselves. He spent $800 on a mid-range coop, predator-proofed with hardware cloth and a weather-tight roof. His first feed bill came in at $400 for the year, but by winter, prices jumped to $620 as corn costs spiked. That single line item erased nearly all of his projected margin. The USDA's claim of 30 to 50 cents per egg only covers feed for a healthy, productive hen. It ignores the cost of the coop, which loses value every year. Spread over a decade, that's another $80 a year in depreciation. For a 10-bird flock laying 2,500 eggs, the real cost per egg pushes 90 cents, well above the price of organic eggs at the store. Samantha Lee chose Coturnix quail, hoping for a faster return. Local zoning allowed quail where chickens were banned, and she could keep twice as many birds in the same space. But quail have a short productive window. After 12 to 18 months, egg output drops sharply. Samantha replaced 1/5 of her flock every year, rotating new chicks from a $120 incubator. Feed costs looked low at $2 per bird each month, but rapid turnover and constant hatching added up. The incubator's cost, plus extra starter feed, meant her first-year profit never materialized. On paper, quail eggs seemed like a premium product, but the reality was a cycle of ongoing investment and diminishing returns. Both stories reveal the pattern. Headline profits vanish when every hidden cost, feed volatility, infrastructure, and replacement lands in the spreadsheet. The promise of easy income from backyard birds rarely survives a full accounting. Carlos Mendoza started his beekeeping venture with 2 hives and a plan to sell honey at local markets. The initial investment, $650 for hives, bees, and protective gear, seemed manageable compared to other livestock. In a good year, a healthy hive can yield up to 45 pounds of honey, selling for $15 a pound. Carlos projected nearly $700 in honey sales, plus another $30 from 2 pounds of beeswax. But the numbers on paper rarely match the reality in the field. By midsummer, varroa mites swept through the apiary. Despite $180 in organic treatments, one colony collapsed, cutting honey output by nearly half. National surveys show that first-year beekeepers lose 30 to 50% of their colonies, often before they ever see a harvest. Even with a surviving hive, Carlos's net income after treatments, lost yield, and equipment depreciation hovered between $455 and $995, far less than the optimistic forecasts circulating online. Nina Patel, meanwhile, built her backyard rabbitry around the promise of fast turnover and multiple revenue streams. Her New Zealand does produce an average of 12 kits per year, not the 30 cited in some guides. Of those, about 85% survived to market weight. She sold meat directly to local customers for $8 a pound and pelts for $4 each. With 10 does, her best year brought in $2,400 from meat and $340 from pelts. But demand for rabbit meat remained thin. U.S. consumption is less than 0.2 pounds per capita annually. Specialty butchers and farm-to-table restaurants bought small batches, but larger outlets passed on the higher price. Feed, replacement breeders, and unexpected veterinary costs, like a $150 bill during a heat wave, cut deep into her margin. Nina's net profit fluctuated between $500 and $1,000, with most of her sales clustered around holidays. Both Carlos and Nina diversified their operations, hoping that multiple products would buffer against risk. Disease, unpredictable demand, and recurring costs proved that even a well-planned hive or hutch can leave a small producer with little to show for a year's work. Vermiculture, often promoted as a waste-to-cash solution, rarely delivers the promised returns on a small lot. Bulk worm castings sell at just 90 cents for a 50-pound bag, and most garden centers buy in at even lower rates, often 10 cents to 20 cents per pound. Shipping costs quickly erode any margin, especially since castings are heavy and perishable. For a typical backyard operation, monthly profits after expenses often fall below $50, a fraction of the $300 to $800 per month sometimes claimed online. Aquaponics, another popular system, brings its own set of hidden costs. Running pumps, heaters, and lights for a modest home setup can push monthly electricity bills to $150 or more, even before counting water, fish feed, and replacement fingerlings. A 250-gallon tank, running at national average rates, may use 75 to 150 kilowatt-hours per month. When these utility costs are added to feed and labor, the net cash flow from a backyard aquaponics rig routinely drops below $200 a month. Spread across the 3 to 5 hours of daily work required for system checks, cleaning, and harvest, the effective hourly return often falls under $5, less than minimum wage. Ducks, while valued for both eggs and meat, introduce further complications. A flock of 12 can produce over 15 pounds of wet manure per day, enough to trigger nuisance complaints under many suburban zoning codes. Disease is a constant risk. A single vet visit for duck plague or respiratory illness can cost $350, wiping out months of slim profit. Even with steady egg sales at 40 cents to 50 cents each, rising feed and health costs can leave owners with little to show at year's end. As these examples show, the final three systems, worms, water, and waterfowl, carry costs and risks that are often left out of the promotional math. With every ledger complete, the reality sets in. Stacking these enterprises on a small parcel rarely adds up to the income promised in online guides. A full year's worth of ledgers, stacked side by side, tells a different story than any single enterprise. Gross receipts across chickens, quail, bees, rabbits, worms, fish, and ducks total $2,200. But the combined outlay, feed, housing, replacement stock, utilities, vet bills, depreciation, and regulatory fees climbs to $2,350. Each line item, once isolated, now merges into a single red total. The numbers don't stop there. When labor is counted, even at a modest $225 per month, the spreadsheet tips further. The analyst's worksheet shows a net loss of $150 for the year before taxes or insurance. The promise of stacking profits, adding enterprise on top of enterprise, unravels when every cost is tallied. Feed inflation alone erases thin margins, while infrastructure and replacement cycles create a treadmill effect. Labor, often discounted or ignored in online projections, becomes the silent drain. 3 to 5 hours a day for feeding, cleaning, tending, and marketing. At this rate, the effective hourly wage drops below minimum wage. The sum is not greater than its parts. The ledger's red ink stands in sharp contrast to the optimistic forecasts found in viral videos and downloadable profit calculators. For the small-acre homesteader, the spreadsheet does not lie. No matter how the numbers are arranged, the stacked system produces a negative return once all real-world expenses are included. The numbers on the ledger tell one story, but the real profit often lands somewhere else entirely. While small-acre homesteaders struggle to break even, a new kind of enterprise has quietly flourished: the creator profit engine. In the world of homestead income content, the biggest returns rarely come from eggs, honey, or rabbit meat. They come from the business of selling the dream itself. A single viral video promising 7 profitable animals can pull in $10,000 or more from ad revenue alone. Add another $5,800 from downloadable cheat sheets, starter kits, or so-called profit calculators. Digital products that cost almost nothing to reproduce but sell for $39 to $79 each. Layer on affiliate links for coops, incubators, feed, and beekeeping kits, and the commissions reach $3,000 per month or higher. In total, a top-tier homestead influencer can clear $12,800 or more in a single month, dwarfing the net return of any backyard livestock operation. This business model relies on scale. Digital products and affiliate links reach a global audience, with no feed bills, no vet emergencies, and no zoning headaches. The Federal Trade Commission requires clear disclosure of these paid relationships, but a brief on-screen tag, #ad or affiliate, is often the only signal viewers receive. According to the FTC's 2022 guidance, anything less than conspicuous disclosure risks civil penalties of up to $40,000 per violation. Yet even with these rules, the creator's margin remains untouched. The real money flows not from the coop or the hutch, but from the monetized promise of easy profit. For small-acre homesteaders, the gap is striking. The spreadsheet shows a net loss after months of labor and risk. Meanwhile, the content creator's ledger runs deep in the black, fueled by clicks, downloads, and affiliate sales. The profit engine is not in the backyard. It's in the business of selling the backyard dream. Today, most small-acre livestock ventures still yield net monthly losses when real costs, such as feed, infrastructure, labor, and risk, are counted. Meanwhile, marketing profits from affiliate links and ads outpace actual farm income. The real margin isn't in livestock, it's in the story. The numbers speak for themselves. Share your thoughts below.